Hi, welcome to the Smile Spa podcast. I'm Dr. Aimee Russo-Mounger with the Smile Spa Dental Office and now Smile Spa Wellness Clinics. We've been talking a lot about the newest clinic that we're starting, Smile Spa Wellness, and our holistic approach that we're going to have for perfecting peptides on purpose for performance and people of all ages. That's kind of hard to say. And if you have been keeping up with all the news, you know that we have partnered with two different peptide companies. One is for the use of synthetic prescription-based peptides for injections, which are very useful for many situations and reasons. And if you want more information on those, you can always watch a previous podcast or call the Smile Spa. But today I have the pleasure of talking to one of the greatest in the company make wellness, Melanie Hebert. You may recognize Melanie from the news. She was a newscaster in New Orleans for many years, and now she rocks the healthcare and wellness industry with the Make Wellness Company. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Melanie, and I'm just going to sit back because her journalism background will take over, and she's going to spew tons of information about the podcast and about peptides. And I may not even have to say another word, or I can't get a word in edgewise, one or the other. But it will be amazing, and we're blessed to have you, Melanie, and all listeners will be really blessed too. So thanks for coming.
So you think, Aimee, the best journalists ask the best questions. So just wait. I am sitting in the opposite chair, so this is a little interesting to me. But I have to start off with thanking you, first of all, not only for inviting me here, but you are somebody who does not mail it in life. And everything you do, I've learned this about you over the past decade since I've known you. We met in a dance contest that was a charity event in Baton Rouge. And everything you do, you go out of your way to learn everything about it. And that is very rare. So hats off to you for recognizing how significant this movement in introducing bioactive precision peptides to the United States, because whoever is listening to this right now or watching this is among the first, more than likely, at least if it's in this year, to learn about bioactive precision peptides.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a great company. I love the founders. I mean, I've just felt like, gosh, it's just such a great base. It's not just a company that's like a big pharma where it's like, we want to make all this money. You know, you can tell that they really care about the people that they're helping. They care about the people that are helping the people. You know, like you as a company, you can tell like there's the stories you've said. I've only been not even a month yet, I guess, that I've been kind of learning about it in the industry, but the stories you tell, and when we see them on social media and all the things, they're just so genuine, and you can really tell that it's like a great way for us to increase people's knowledge on how to be healthy and to be proactive instead of being reactive with our medicine.
That's absolutely right. And it is a holistic approach. And so I can really appreciate you with your medical background also having such a passion about educating people about holistic health. You know, it's not just about treating the conditions and fixing. We want to actually prevent. You know, we have several different partners who are medical doctors, but we also have a lot of holistic practitioners. And to be quite honest with you, that's what really intrigued me when I first learned about this company, Make Wellness. It was a year ago. We had no products to sell or buy yet. They weren't even in the United States yet. Yeah, I mean, this is a baby company. It's in its infancy stages. And what I found so intriguing when I first learned about it was that people from the medical doctors, people from the medical community, as well as the holistic practitioners, both agreed when I presented them with the information that this was going to be huge.
And that's rare.
I think it is rare in my experience. And I have my own journeys and stories about how I have come to appreciate holistic health. And some of them would be really enlightening for a lot of people. But I think in America especially, we are so quick to turn to prescriptions, which I am not against. I'm very grateful that I live in a country and in a time in our world where we have access to prescription medication when we need it. But if there's a way to, number one, prevent us from needing it, or number two, to treat or to help get optimal results from our bodies in a way that is all natural and not from prescription medication that is synthetic and doesn't have side effects, that would be, I think, what people are starting to realize ideal. That's ideal. Around the United States, wouldn't you agree that people are really waking up to the benefits of being properly educated about holistic health?
Yeah. And thankfully Trump's Kennedy and all them that are have right now is bringing a lot of that to light.
That is
we've
true.
known in the background, like, the things, fructose corns, like all these things, red dyes, all the things that we're not supposed to do. If you're on the holistic side of things, you knew that already. And some people had no idea what that was. So that brings, the whole thing pictured to light. At least people are thinking about it. Even if they say, he's crazy, what is that even about? I don't understand. They're thinking about it now. So when we can give them the information, like, you heard what he was saying, you heard this person talking about it, that person talking about it. It's a true thing. And look, we have something that can help you.
Exactly. And not just weight loss, because I know the gateway to the conversation often is weight loss.
That's the thing these
We're not
days.
a weight loss company. We don't represent weight loss products solely. However, it's starts a conversation because most people don't really know what peptides are, the general public, of course, the medical professionals, holistic practitioners, and even fitness professionals. They are into peptides. High-level fitness professionals understand what a big deal peptides are and the future of peptides.
And how they help our body.
Correct. I mean, they're basically a chain of amino acids. They're the foundational building blocks of proteins in your body, and they work as messengers. I don't need to tell you this, but just so your audience understands, they work as messengers in your body is what we teach people, so that as opposed to a blanket approach of some sort of supplement that you hope is giving you as much vitamin D and not too much, or calcium or whatever else you may be deficient on, these are cell signaling peptides. They don't work miraculously in an hour necessarily, but the clinical trials show they were done over a 12 to 20 week period. And so over 12 to 20 weeks, we saw drastic results over the last 10 years. I mean, these double-blind third-party human clinical trials, which is why the medical doctors are interested. Yeah. But what opens up the conversation for most people is the discussion about weight loss, because even though people don't understand what peptides are yet in the general public, outside of those industries I mentioned, they have heard of the synthetic peptides, Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide. I could go on and on. They're very popular right now for people trying to lose weight. Of course, there are people who are taking them for other medical reasons. But the issue with that, I know they've helped a lot of people, but the issue is that 40% of the weight on average people are losing when they take those injections is coming from muscle mass. So I say all the time, I'm not a doctor. That's a little disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but with a journalism background and still consider myself a journalist, I do, a lot of journalism work in the community and even nonprofit work. And so it's just my heart, my passion. And I do enjoy taking complex information this is high level science stuff, that can really make a tremendous difference in people's lives, and condensing it and then communicating it with the masses. And we get the privilege. I really feel like it's such a blessing to learn about this when we have, and we get to spread this message to people and say, look, this is something that you should consider to get optimal results in your body. So the first part of the discussion usually is about weight loss. So we talked about the synthetic injections, which would be Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, all those. And we talked about a big problem with them, and that 40% of the weight being lost is from muscle, not fat, and why that's so important. And I know even in your dental discussions, you've talked about this before too, because everything's connected. I mean, it's the whole concept of holistic health. But muscle is connected to so much more than people think, even brain health. I mean, losing muscle, we already lose muscle each year once we turn about 30. We lose it's very difficult to maintain and build lean muscle, even if you're really trying. So yes, there are ways that you can offset losing a lot of muscle when you're on the injections, but it's very, very difficult, near impossible for most people to intake the amount of protein every day and to work out in the gym or lift the amount of weights that you need to offset losing that amount of muscle. So if you want to set yourself up, I sort of look at it as financially, the time to talk about retirement is not when you are going to retire that year, right? It's you have to think about these things early on. And with our bodies, there's nothing more important than setting ourselves up properly well in advance so that we age gracefully, so that we age healthy in a way that allows us to be active with our grandkids, to not have aches and pains, because unfortunately too many people think it's normal to have aches and pains as you age. I know you don't, because you're out dancing. I mean, you've become pretty much a competitive dancer now.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm a dancer, and I just play a dentist on TV. Like that's my side job, but not. Sometimes I feel that way, but it's so fun. It's definitely fun. But yeah, I mean, if I'm not doing anything or keeping myself healthy, when I start to go back to dance, because dancing, it ends up being in Baton Rouge, it's kind of cyclic because we have the events, and then you have some times that you're not dancing, and then so when I go back, it's like, oh gosh, before I was kind of like, I'm having this joint pain in my hip. I guess I'm 50. Then I was like, no, I'm not. This is not normal. It doesn't have to be normal.
It doesn't have to be normal.
So we can we can have longevity, but also longevity with our mind and our bodies, and be able to be healthy, like you said. But dementia and Alzheimer's is besides cancer, those, I always say that, are probably some of the worst ones that you have to deal with family members, or God forbid yourself. And we can pretty much pinpoint that there's some things that we can do that can combat that. There is some genetic factors, but you can still fight against that and a lot of other diseases if you're healthy from the beginning, like starting early. And early, I mean like by 50 or 60. That's still earlier than waiting, but the earlier you start, the better. Like I have my kids on this.
There's never better time to start than now. That's right.
That's very good
Other
point.
than yesterday or the day before that, now is the best time. I mean, we have teenagers taking this, and it's not just. So we talked about weight loss, and you touched on some of the other opportunities to have optimal health in your body through bioactive precision peptides. But I will also say that bioactive precision peptides is a very unique term that only Make Wellness promotes, because this is a trademark term, actually trademarked by the company Make Wellness. And if you want me to tell you how Make Wellness came about, the founders of the company went on a global search for holistic health. And this is a really cool story because they found this lab in Ireland. And you've already alluded to the fact that in the United States, we were allowing poison pretty much in our foods. We were allowing in high fructose corn syrup and all of the red dye. And we know, I mean, I've been prescribed medication for my babies that turned out to be carcinogenic. I was furious and I was hesitant, but I trusted. And look, I know that when we know better, we do better.
Right.
But we know better.
You only know what you know sometimes.
When we know better, we do better. And we have to pay close attention to who's funding the trials, if there is trials, if it's been around long enough. And so to have all natural ingredients, we actually have a clean slate ingredient list that shows what we make a promise to never include these ingredients. We are a totally clean company.
Cool.
But to have that foundational value, but also the clinical trials, 10 years of double-blind third-party human clinical trials to prove that these actually work.
Yeah, you don't have to have crap in something to
make
it work.
That is true.
It actually works better probably when your body can take it in and use it instead of taking it and putting some of it out of there because it's just, trash.
Correct. Yeah. So the founders of this company, they went on a search for just that. And they knew the value of peptides and that they were really on trend in the United States and really globally. And so they've discovered this lab in Ireland called Nuritas, Nuritas. If you want to look it up, Nuritas.com, fascinating. And I actually had the privilege of being on a video conference with Dr. Nora Caldy, the founder and CEO of that company. And what they do is they have this very high level AI technology. They're using artificial intelligence to identify and isolate these peptides, bioactive peptides in nature. So I mentioned that we're the only ones who have bioactive precision peptides. Bioactive peptides in general have been around way longer than us. They're basically just peptides in nature that have been around longer than humans. They are in plants and in the foods that we eat. For decades, we've been hearing holistic practitioners talk about how the answers to what ails you are often found in plants,
your food,
in foods. They're meant to nourish your body. And so they found this lab in Ireland, Nuritas, that's using artificial intelligence to find it's not like we invented peptides, but the challenge has been figuring out which peptides of the trillions that exist could be not only used, but in certain formulas working together and extracted in very precise ways. They have to be extracted in a very precise way to not damage the peptide. And then which ones actually work. They target certain cells. It's not a blanket approach. They're like, they go directly to the cell that needs the message.
Yeah.
And then it takes time. And the older we are, the longer it takes for our cells to turn over. Mm-hmm. So in some cases, you do see effects pretty quickly, but I always give the disclaimer, give it 12 weeks. Especially if you're trying to lose weight. You're not going to lose 20 pounds in a week or two. More importantly about the weight loss, though, it's not about weight. It is about body composition.
Yes, absolutely.
I tell people, do not look at the scale. Give it 12 weeks. Do not look at the scale because you don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. And our clinical trials from that peptide product that helps people to lose weight, which people call nature's Ozempic. I'm not saying I call it that. I'm not making a reference that week. I'm just saying it has become a term.
Yeah.
It's a capsule and you take 2 in the morning and it's affordable. It's affordable. I think it's, $80, $89, something like that, and depending on a subscription, but it's affordable for people and it's something they can do on their own without a doctor's supervision. They don't have to cycle off and on.
Yeah.
May take a tad bit longer, but if they are patient for 3 months, give it 3 months and get your body composition so that you can make sure you're losing fat and not muscle. And the studies show 6% weight loss, 100% of the weight that was lost was from fat. 0% was from muscle.
That's awesome.
0%. It's huge.
That is huge.
With that one peptide product in particular, it's called lean.
Yeah.
So that's a very popular one. That's usually sort of the gateway into the bioactive peptides. But this company, Neuritas, when they met with the founders of our company, I heard our founders say this story face to face. I flew out to Arizona a year ago to meet with them. And one of our founders said, I'm sitting there meeting with this CEO, and she's a brilliant scientist, Dr. Nora Caldy. And he said, and I'm asking her, why does your YouTube page have like 14 followers? Like, this is amazing what you're doing. Why doesn't the world know about this?
Yeah.
And so they really made it their mission to start marketing, to bring this to the United States.
That's
and
cool.
To really find the people like me who are passionate about this and could really lay the foundation to help bioactive precision peptides become a household name.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the story behind how it came to be. And we have an exclusive agreement with that lab, Neuritas. We have lots of labs with whom we partner, but that's the one that fascinates me the most. Yeah. And they also, their baby is PeptiStrong. So when you look at we have a product that increases muscle mass, not only maintains muscle mass, but helps you to increase muscle mass as you age. So you can start. I truly think that's the one everyone should take. It's a stick pack of powder.
It tastes so good.
It does. It's like a glass of orange juice or Tang. I'm sure my age now. If you remember, I don't know if Tang is still around. Is Tang still around?
I don't think so. I don't think you can get Tang. I don't know.
It's sort of like Tang. But you take Fit every day, and I know you don't. You take it every day?
Yes, I actually mix the Fit and the Hydrate together.
I do too. So, I mix a lot. Actually, right now I'm drinking Energized and I'm drinking Fit and I'm drinking Fit and Hydrated together right now.
They're really good. We've got a lot. So you kind of introduced it. Yeah, you introduced it to me through the partner that we're doing the other peptides with. It was kind of an interesting little thing. It's like, hey, check this out too. And it was perfect because I got into the other peptides because of my son Spencer as a trainer, and we were training and they had all this knowledge, and I was like, this is amazing. People need to know this. And then, but it's expensive and it's an injection and you have to have a doctor. So we had to do a lot of research. Like, how can we do? I'm a dentist. How am I going to do this? How is this going to happen? But I know that the patients could really benefit from it. But not everybody wants to do an injection, and not everybody wants to pay that much money. So people don't understand it. When you talked about yours, I was like, what? This is amazing, because then you can I got the best of both worlds now. I can tell the patient, you can have this or you can have this, but you got to have something because you need these things. Right. Whatever it's going to be, you need these things. You need the lean. If you don't want to take the real Ozempic, take the natural Ozempic. And then if you want to build muscle and you feel like you're not going to the gym, you said it builds muscle even, and probably not claim it, but it can build muscle for you, lean muscle, even if you're not doing
it's clinically
crazy
proven.
weight.
Yeah,
It is a clinical proven. I know you said it happened to you.
Yes, you can. In fact, you can go to lifechangingpeptides.com/science. And that's
and doing nothing, you will still build lean muscle.
And you can see the clinical trials behind
awesome.
it. That one I really believe is our hero product, because
that one.
No matter, I truly believe that everybody should be on Fit, unless you have a fava bean allergy, because it's made with fava beans. But listening to Dr. Nora Caldy talk about Fit is truly fascinating. It's good stuff.
Wow.
And I actually have a little bit of that clip, I think, on lifechangingpeptides.com/science. Yeah, so I do.
Science.
So
Okay.
it's clinically proven.
Yeah.
It's not like just something we're feeling or that the in-body machines or the body composition machines are saying. No, it's
and that did
unbiased studies.
some of that talk that you talked about with those things that you could, what do you call that? Like quantify. We said we need to get one of these scales.
Yes.
So we
Body
did. We
composition
got one of
scales,
their
yep.
body composition scales so that you can have a baseline. Then you take the things that you want to take, whichever ones that we give you, all of them are great. And then you retest and then see how much you've lost, or how much muscle you gained, how much weight, if that's the thing. It's really not the thing. I don't think it might tell us our weight on there. I did it, and I don't remember. I don't look at the weight.
It does, yeah.
I don't even look at the weight, but I'm looking like it has the whole body, and it tells you where the fat's sitting and all the things, So it's we'll have one of those for anybody who wants to
At the Smile Spa Wellness.
Yes,
Yep.
we'll have it there for them so they can do that. And then we're also doing the glucose monitor, which is helpful too, just to kind of see where you're eating, where your food is. Those are going to be great to add in for instead of drinking a Diet Coke or drinking,
Right.
Then you can add those. I like just sipping on it all. It just tastes so good. I just continue to sip
does.
on it like all day long. They fuss at me about it, but I'm like, it's fine, it's good, it's Hydrate,
It does.
But there's also the other ones that we've used. The Calm is really good. I have those in the office. And so when we have these patients that are nervous, it's like just, would you call it
It's a stick
like
pack.
the
Yeah, it's a stick pack.
pixie
It
stick
lowers
thing?
your cortisol levels. So the Calm product, we have 2 support products that are not peptides. So we have 6 products so far. We're introducing a 7th in the fall in
heard,
November. That will be a
yes.
sleep peptide to help
awesome.
The quality of sleep. I didn't realize what a big problem that was in the United
It's a
States.
huge problem.
It's
Yeah.
a big problem. So we have 6 so far. 2 of them are support products. 4 of them are peptides. One of the support products is the one to which you're referring. It's Calm. It has ashwagandha. So we don't recommend it for pregnant people because it's commonly not advised for pregnant people to take ashwagandha. But it's sort of like a pixie stick. If you,
Yeah, you
again,
said that,
showing my
pixie
age.
stick.
Yeah, like a pixie stick. It's just a little stick pack. You open it up and you pour it directly on your tongue. Of course, it's not sugar.
Yeah.
And it will lower your cortisol levels. And that's one of them that you can really see or feel an effect pretty quickly. I usually take one before my kids come home from school. They're at those ages,
I was going to say, you're showing your kids' age now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're going to make me crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
Homework time.
I have 3 children, but if our bodies are stressed or dehydrated, the peptides will not work at their optimal levels. I mean, you can think of the
anything,
difference between like a
exactly.
raisin and a grape.
Yeah.
And the absorption levels, right?
Yeah.
So if you're stressed or dehydrated, which most of us are,
Yes.
then they won't work at their optimal levels. So that's why we offer also those 2 support products. They're on the lower ends. All the products range in price from $119 for $49 to about $120 for a 1-month supply, or
month,
around
and
those
it's a month,
ages.
right.
A month, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very affordable, and you can buy them all individually or as part of a collection. But back to the Calm, I do think that's a good idea because people
Yes.
come into
They
the
come in
dentist.
so
They're
anxious.
Yeah, they're going to have a procedure done, and they'd like to lower
Like, open your mouth.
their cortisol levels. Who doesn't want to lower their cortisol levels?
Exactly,
So I
yeah.
do take that every
It
day,
does
and then the
calm you out.
hydrated
Yeah.
electrolytes. That's sea salt from the Great Salt Lake, full of minerals, and so most of us need more than water to stay hydrated each day. And
People don't know that. That's
Yep.
a very good thing that we should be spreading a little bit more too. Because I think unless you're in the health and wellness, holistic, and training, areas, it's all about water, water, water. But sometimes if you're drinking Baton Rouge water, you may not be getting anything that you need. You might be getting some stuff you don't need.
Ooh, Yep.
Yep.
Have you ever read those reports?
Yeah, I don't drink water from a fountain ever. That's like
Really?
filtered water, bottled water, which still has the whole other, issues
Right,
too.
right.
But adding electrolytes, we all need them. So even if you drink too much, you can die from drinking too much water. So you've got to add some electrolytes in there at some point and just even out our bodies. And that's going to help with being tired, looking hydrated and not looking hydrated, a grape or a raisin. Exactly. So I do think that those all work so good together. And the focus is, people are loving the focus too. Taking that one. I've had people that tried. I put them on like a trial. Some people in my office. She lost 2 pounds in a week and didn't change anything. Just taking the lean, just like the Ozempic, the natural Ozempic. My husband, they love the Focus. My kids, and they all take the
and
Focus.
I'll say, since people don't know, the Focus is a capsule.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that one yet.
Yeah,
too.
that's one of the 4 peptides. So we've talked about lean. That's for weight loss.
Yes.
We've touched on fit. I could probably help a little more with fit. And especially because you mentioned Jude Marino, who is your co-founder of Smile Spa Wellness.
Yep.
He also owns a weight loss clinic. And that's how I met him. I met him because I met him at an event, and all they did was the synthetic injections. And I asked him, do you know that 40% of the weight people are losing is coming from muscle? And he said, well, we provide the proper education. I said, I'm sure you do, but do you think they're all doing it? And I said, what if there was a way that we could help assure that they didn't lose muscle, not get rid of the injections, because I know that they help a lot of people and insurance pays for them for a lot of people. So if they want to maintain, if they want to keep getting the injections, at least this is a way. If they take fit, we talked about fit, at least that can help them to not have that side effect of losing muscle. You know,
That's
they can
huge.
actually maintain and maybe even build lean muscle while they're on the injections.
Yes.
I truly believe everybody who is on an injection for one of the synthetics should be on fit, especially. We should all be on fit.
Yeah.
But that's the gist of fit. And by the way, it increases NAD levels 2.7 fold. A lot of people hear about creatine in the gym or whey protein. So this provides 4 times the amount of protein synthesis in the body as whey protein, which has typically been the gold standard. I'm sure your son Spencer knows, the trainer, and 5 times the amount of creatine. It also increased performance by 54%. I mean, all the clinicals are there if you want to go see. It's truly a clean way to help even athletes, grandparents, people. You know, my mother-in-law has arthritis, and this has just helped her. It decreases inflammation. I'm not supposed to make medical claims, but arthritis is just inflammation. I mean, if you can help people to live more comfortably, and it's even connected to bone density, bone health, and brain health. You know, again, muscle is so important. So that I can't speak enough about fit, but since we are on limited time, I will talk about Focus too. Focus is a capsule, and I take one every morning, and that helps to decrease brain fog, helps to get real dialed in and concentrate. It also helps with eye health and the effects of the computer screen. If you are on a computer all day, the blue light, it helps with eye health as well. So that's really interesting. And then the 4th one is Energized. And they're all based on these ideas of I am fit, I am lean, I am energized.
I love that.
I am focused. Yeah. So those are easy to remember. I mean, who doesn't want to be lean, fit, energized, and focused, right?
Yeah.
So Energized is a clean, sustained caffeine release. It does have caffeine that lasts throughout the day. So it's very different from the energy drinks that you would see on store shelves down the street. A lot of those overwork your adrenal glands, which is why people get really jittery. And I cringe when I see people drinking these. And then they burn out your adrenal glands, so you have sort of a crash. You know, it's like a pop and drop effect, as opposed to this, which is a clean, sustained caffeine release that lasts throughout the day, right? It's ginseng peptides. And then the focused is ginkgo. So
which we've heard about, and that's a lot.
Energized, by the way, is a powder. So that's another one that you mix in with your water, and you just and it's delicious. I wouldn't drink it past like 6 or 7 p.m. because it is that slow, sustained. Or
earlier if you're really sensitive to caffeine. I think I could probably drink caffeine and go straight to sleep.
I can too. I can drink coffee at 11 p.m. and go right to sleep. It doesn't bother me.
There's some people who really almost can't drink it at all, or have to drink it in the morning. So that, we just have to make sure we can tell them all the things. There's so much information, and you have a great website that you have a lot, like you said, the scientific trials are on there. All of us are on there. They can find my picture. They can find Jude's picture, and plenty of other people that they probably would recognize too.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't mention the fitness professionals. You know, when we talk about fit, we have Todd Durkin, for instance. He is Drew Brees' trainer. I met Todd Durkin at the Super Bowl when the Saints, I was still in broadcast journalism. I was anchoring remote broadcasts from Miami every morning. I know you remember when the Saints went to the Super Bowl the one time. I mean, it's like I was from a time when they were the Aints.
Yes.
So that this was a big deal for native New Orleanians like myself, you know. So that was an amazing experience to be able to cover that and anchor from the news. But I got to meet Todd Durkin, who was Drew Brees' trainer there. And so we kept in touch over the years. And he has trained and still trains the best athletes in the world. And so he was one of the people I brought this to immediately. I knew he would understand the value of it. And so he's on there. He's on that site. He's one of our affiliates, along with
I've heard him speak. It's really interesting. He's good.
Very motivational.
Yes, very motivational. But you also know that he's going to do his research, and he's going to know, like, you're not going to just give it to Drew Brees and not know what you're giving them.
He's not going to back anything. But you know, something more important for the fitness professionals to understand too, and especially athletes, is that you have to be very careful. You can't have performance enhancing supplements.
That's true. Yes, they get
and
tested,
so
right?
a lot of it, he has said for years he has wanted to implement peptides into his gyms. He owns a franchise, IXP Performance, Impact X Performance, all over the country, and he can't, just like any other gym, they can't. It's difficult to bring in medical doctors and cycle people off and on. They're all interested in the peptides if they understand them, the synthetic peptides.
Yeah.
So they have to cycle off and on. They're expensive. Yes. They're complex. And you have to, they have to be supervised by a medical provider, by a medical doctor. So when he heard about these, he said, wow, this is a great way. That's all natural. That is clean.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a banned substance.
That's true.
That doesn't require medical supervision. So it makes sense for those businesses as well to start integrating, not just individuals in their lives.
Absolutely. That's like what we're doing with the Small Spot Wellness. I felt like this is definitely something that's great for our patients. They have both, like we said, both options, and so a great benefit for both of them. And then a lot of people can just, whenever they get off, if they want to do the GLP-1 shots, they go to the lean, and that's a great way to you know, kind of keep and maintain the same thing, but you don't have to take the shots anymore. You can go, your price would go down, and you would still be able to just maintain your weight with all the other things too. Always doing the fit. I think we need to do the fit until we're in the grave. Then you put a little packet of fit, you know, in the coffin with it. It's like, this is how we need to live. It just has so many good benefits, but they all do. And I know we kind of like, we're trying to rush through it today, but I'll have to get you back for sure. And
anytime.
Go through some
we
more.
could do it weekly. I mean,
right?
I feel very in my element.
Yeah, this is, So
Except, and you're so easy.
Back.
You're so easy to work. And I'm just so thrilled to have you on board with us.
Oh, that's sweet.
I mean,
Thank
you were really one of the first people I thought of, Aimee, because again, as I said, you're somebody who understands the greater picture of everything and goes the extra mile for not only your patients, but people in the community. I mean, no one can know who you are without understanding the value of what you bring to the community in Baton Rouge. I'm getting goosebumps because it's not, and faith-based, you know, doing it all out of just good intention and good purpose, and you mean a lot to this community. So I feel blessed to have. I know. I feel blessed to be able to work with you now.
Oh, you're officially. So sweet. Thank you so much. I know. I think we have a good long partnership coming. I'm going to really enjoy it, definitely. So yes, you will be back. So we'll do smilespawellness.com. I have too many websites, I don't even know them. smilespawellness.com, and then the smilespawellness.com, thesmilespa.us is ours for the Smile Spa clinics. That will have our stuff on there. And then do your life-changing one, because that one I love. That you have a lot of good information there.
Lifechangingpeptides.com, right? It'll just give you a sampling of the types of affiliates who are partnering with us to introduce this to the United States in this startup year. But it also will connect you to the science. The direct link to that is lifechangingpeptides.com/science. We have Dr. Jenny Baker there, who's a friend of mine who works in emergency medicine. You'll meet her this weekend, I'm sure.
Excited.
And Dr. Baker talks about how she really would love to help prevent people from having to go into the emergency room so much, especially as they age, because they become so susceptible to falls and fractures because of the loss of muscle.
Yes. And I do love, we'll mention that real quick. We probably need to come back and talk about this when we have more time. But the company is doing a thing, which a lot of companies that are selling even the injectable peptides are doing this now. They're having affiliates. So you can go on and help spread the word as an affiliate with the company. And so there's obviously ways that you can go in, put it in your businesses. You can do it singly as just a person who wants to have it, help the company grow as a job. And so there's plenty of ways that they can do that as well. Talking to any one of us, they can find me, and then we can get them and shoot them in the right direction if it's something that they feel like, man, this would be a great, like if they feel passionate about it. And they the same thing. They want to help whoever, just their friends and family. They want to help whoever works at their business, or if they own a business. And there's
not even own a business, but individuals. And you're right. I'm glad you mentioned that, because they could work directly with us. And they don't have to be in the Baton Rouge area. I have a team of affiliates all over the United States, Todd Durkins in San Diego, for instance. But if they go to lifechangingpeptides.com and find you, just look for Dr. Aimee Russo-Mounger. They can click on your picture. That will take them, as you know, to your Make Wellness information site. And if they did want to help spread the word about this, yes, they could get commissions. There's no fee to do that. There's no required purchases or sales or anything like that. But we are living in an age where affiliate partnerships are becoming very common and more modern. And I also think that I think everybody should have multiple streams of income, especially in this day and age. There's been multiple times in my life I know that things have happened that have been unexpected financially or with jobs.
All the things.
And most people I know can say the same thing. So it's
and
pretty
moms want
smart.
to stay home with their kids if they can. I think this whole virtual thing too. Everybody went virtual. Now everybody's like, how can I work from home now?
True.
I want to.
It's true.
Nobody will let me take their teeth out, work from home, and then come back and bring it to them.
Yes.
So some of us have to have a job like we have to have brick and mortar. But there's some people who want to find that avenue to be able to work from home, or it's somewhat from home, but what I mean. Like,
it is something that you may be passionate about, or it may be a vehicle to help you do other things in life. If you're an artist, but it doesn't quite provide, the income that you would like, then
exactly.
if you're a smart business person or would like to be trained by us,
yes,
smart business people,
Melanie,
I can absolutely help any one of your listeners who would like to do that. I can absolutely help them. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love it. All right, well, I think we did all the quick. What is it like, the run through?
Yeah,
and
the overview.
Yes, the big overview. Landed the plane, but you'll come back and see me.
Did we land the plane? I never quite land my planes. It's
this
always
is
like
true.
The landing gear's about to come out. Like,
yeah,
we're
still be talking.
Coming out.
Yes, and we'll still be talking about this, but definitely for a few more weeks, and then come back and see me. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and keep smiling.